Everybody, so I've got my Walk for the Animals t-shirt here showing that off. I think I also sent you a link around if you want to beg your friends and family to go online and donate a few dollars for that event. That would be wonderful. So let me talk to you guys for a few minutes about your major writing assignment. I had some questions about it, and that's why I've extended your discussion forum. I believe it's discussion 22 that asks you to choose your topic and tell me who you're going to work with and give me some details about your plan for your paper. So I've extended that to next Tuesday. So let me give you the same talk that I gave to my face-to-face classes. So first of all, this is known as a capstone project. What that means, like the capstone at the top of the pyramid, the ancient pyramids, this is the crowning point. This is the highest achievement of your entire first year cycle of freshman composition or writing and rhetoric. That's why the paper is weighed the heaviest of the 3 projects this semester, and this is why I want to make sure I give you a good speech to explain exactly how to do well on this paper. So I did send you guys around the grading rubric. If you look at that in detail, it explains the difference between an AA paper and a BC paper. I didn't put details in for an F paper. I assume nobody wants that. So look over that grading rubric. Basically, the argument project, this is going to be more formal and more traditional than your previous 2 writing projects. The blog and the PowerPoint or whatever other multimedia format you used are non-traditional, but I think it's good practice to write a good old-fashioned research paper, and this gives you practice writing in a formal college setting with traditional writing skills. So you've got 3 options for your 3 options for this final paper. There are 3 types of arguments that are acceptable. You could do a classical argument, a proposing a solution argument, or an evaluation argument. Well, let me start backwards. An evaluation argument, you know what that is. This is the one that might work well to have 2 or 3 people in the same group. Evaluation is simply arguing which item is the best in a series of options. For example, one semester 2 students wrote, one arguing that online classes were better, the other arguing that face-to-face classes were better. So evaluating which 2 options is the best or better. Now you can use pop culture in this assignment if you want to. Those of you who are bored and annoyed by serious academic, formal, traditional topics such as maybe you don't want to write about major social issues like one example, I had students write on the Black Lives Matter is better than Blue Lives Matter, or is Blue Lives Matter better than All Lives Matter. I had each student took one of those 3 options and argued which is better. But maybe you don't want a serious, heavy, socially charged topic. Maybe you want something a little lighter and more fun. So if you're a sports fan, you could argue about who's the one semester I had 3 students argue who was the greatest basketball player of all time professionally. I'm sure you can guess what their 3 choices were. Of course, LeBron, Kobe, and Michael Jordan. And each one wrote a paper. And a semester later, I had 3 students do a pop culture topic. Who was the most influential pop artist of our time period? And I believe the 3 papers were Kanye, Drake, and Beyonce. Now you might ask yourself, well, why would we bother writing a college paper on pop culture? But actually, first of all, it might be more engaging to you and interesting than a more serious topic. And secondly, you still have to use the same skills and the same research skills and the same writing skills that you would to write about a psychological issue or a social issue or crime or climate change or something more serious. Proposing a solution is a type of paper where you talk about a problem and then you offer a solution. So for example, you might say high prices of textbooks are a huge problem in college, and here's my solution. And your solution might be renting books, or it might be more ebooks, or it might be the publishers need to not publish a new version every damn year because that's ridiculous and it's just jacking up prices for no reason. So that's proposing a solution problem. Here's the problem, here's the solution. Another one was how do we solve the problem of all these pythons in the Everglades? It's an invasive species. And one solution was, well, let's have a hunting season and have trophies and awards for the person that goes out and kills and captures the most pythons. So that was a good paper. So what do I mean by just a classical or traditional argument? That's an argument where you simply argue that something is a problem or that we need more awareness of it without actually going into the proposing a solution. So it's actually a step back. It's a little less complicated than proposing a solution. So for example, you might just argue pythons in the Everglades is a problem. So when you guys post your discussion topic ideas, remember that what you want is a research question. A question that isn't easy to answer and that takes research. And I would like for you to think of yourself as, maybe in the past, the idea of writing a research paper was simply capture a whole bunch of really good quotations and paraphrases of ideas of experts from others in the research, and you're kind of the MC. You're the one that just weaves it all together like a tapestry of quotations and ideas. But now at the college level, that's not enough. And as you'll see from the Turnitin guidelines, we want your paper to be 60% or more original thoughts, not quotes, not paraphrases from other sources. So at this level, at the college level, just copying and pasting others' ideas and quotes isn't enough. We want you to include some primary research. That means you've actually gone out and interviewed people or surveyed people, or you could do questionnaires. You could do online questionnaires. Also, we want you to have some of your own original thoughts and ideas and suggestions and commentary on the problem. So don't just think of yourself as an outsider looking in. You guys can pose yourselves as experts also. You guys are critical thinkers. You guys have your own opinions and ideas. So try to add something new to the conversation. Don't just repeat all the research that's been done already. Now that's one reason I try to shy students away from topics such as abortion or the death penalty or legalizing marijuana or lowering the drinking age. Pretty much everything that could be said on either side of those issues has already been said. So what new can you add? When you think of a topic, you want to think of something where you can add something new. This is what makes this paper exciting. If you have an inside connection to a topic, that's what really can be used to your advantage in this type of paper. So, for example, one young lady, her uncle was a police officer, and she wanted to ask his opinions about police brutality and race relations among police and the public and the community, and get his take on it. If you can give us an insider's perspective on a topic, that would be exciting for us. We want to read something new, something different, something you can add to a topic that nobody else can add. Of course, you do want to use the statistics and the research from experts because that will give you more credibility and ground your argument. But that shouldn't be more than 60% of the paper. That should be 40% or less of the paper. So, Turnitin. You do want that to be a lower number, 40 or less. MLA format. I just want to give you a couple of points on MLA format. Whether it's APA, those of you who are going to be psychologists in the future, you'll learn APA. Whether it's Chicago style or whether it's MLA style or another type of format, philosophically, I tend to be a rebel. I tend to be the type of person who doesn't want to obey authority just because they told me to. I want to challenge things, I want to think for myself, and I always question the rules. So I always had trouble with things like MLA. This is a set of rules where somebody tells you where to put your name, when to bold, when not to bold, not to underline, what size font to use, what size margins to use. And of course, this is completely opposite of your earlier assignments where you were the web designer or you were the PowerPoint designer, and creativity and experimentation was encouraged. Unfortunately, with an MLA paper, creativity is squashed as far as form goes. Now, content, you can be as creative as you want. MLA, though, has its uses, and there are some reasons for some of the rules that are good ones. Some of the rules for MLA I think are arbitrary and silly. Some of them I even think I would change if I could. But it is good practice to learn a format, because if you ever want to publish or submit an article for review or enter a writing contest or have your work read by a supervisor who expects a certain format, it's good to be able to follow those rules to the letter. So it's a good skill to have. That's why we force you guys to do it. Again, philosophically, I'm not one who likes conformity or likes following rules blindly, but please, for this assignment, do it, and I will actually take a few points off if you do not follow MLA format. So your citation should occur in text, in parentheses, usually last name, page number of author, and also you'll have a works cited page at the end. We're going to look at examples of how to do sample MLA formatted essays correctly in the future, and we'll have plenty of examples, and you also have samples in your book. So it won't be hard to not get points off for that. It's really easy just to follow the format. A couple of other things. Page count. I've been rambling for 10 minutes and you're wondering, I just want to know how many damn pages to write. That's the most important thing for you, right? So I have listed in the assignment prompt 5 to 6 pages per individual. So if you work with a team, what would happen, let's say for example the students who wrote about Drake and Beyonce and Kanye. Each student wrote their own 5 to 6 page paper. The thing is that they might have used a couple of the same sources. They might have had somebody talk about the influence of pop culture in our century and why it's important, or da-da-da-da in general, and then each one would do research on their various person, on Kanye or on Beyonce, etc., etc. So you can share ideas, and maybe, especially if you're doing a two sides to an issue kind of thing, such as one of you is in favor of stricter gun laws and one of you is in favor of looser gun laws, then one person's argument would match one person's counter argument. Now you don't want to switch and swap them word for word, but you could use some of the same sources and some of the same counter arguments, and you see you guys could work together and share sources and share ideas. But still, each paper will be graded individually and separately, whether you're working on a similar topic with one or two other people, or whether you're just doing one all by yourself. So 5 to 6 pages, please. That's double spaced, and that's 12-point font. And at the most, 8 pages. Please don't go much over 8. 8, 9, absolutely no more than 10. I just won't have time to read 12 and 15-page papers on your topic. Please be sure to have a clear thesis. Please be sure to use good evidence. Now, that can be quotes from experts. That can be images. That can be graphs and charts. And I will be sending around a link that shows you how to use images correctly in MLA format. You have to center them in the center of your paper, and you usually would just put it in between paragraphs. And below the image, you would have a caption which explains what the image is showing and the source for where you found it. If nothing else, you could always just put Google Images. And you also have to have Fig 1, Fig 2, Fig 3 in that caption under the picture. So I think I've given you an explanation of the assignment in a little more detail verbally, and I hope this clarifies just a little bit more about what we're looking for. So for your next discussion, when you're asked to brainstorm topics, you can include more than one. If you have 2 or 3 topics that really interest you and you're torn, you're not sure which direction to go ahead and list all of them, and then your classmates and I can respond to you on the discussion forum and give you maybe some nudges in a certain direction. Anyway, I hope that you look forward to writing this last paper, and we do have 2 drafts. The first draft is not due until after spring break, so we have plenty of time to get your topic set up, whether you're going to work with a teammate or not, and then we can start getting your thesis and your counter argument and your evidence and research going. So this is a long-winded video, but I really feel like for this assignment I wanted to explain everything as clearly as possible in detail. So have a good week, everybody, and a good weekend. And if you have any questions about this assignment, please get in touch with me. Thank you.